Welcome back to Picture Mavericks. Today we are covering Titanic, the 1997 film directed by James Cameron, produced by Paramount Pictures and 20th Century Fox. And at the time of its release, it was the most expensive movie ever made at around $200 million. It won 11 Academy Awards including Best Picture and Best Director, and it became the highest-grossing film of all time, holding that record for 12 years. Let us get into it. Before the story, I want to talk about the character that stood out the most to me. And it is not Jack. It is not Rose. It is Captain Edward Smith, played by Bernard Hill. This was supposed to be his final voyage before retirement, his last trip. And when the ship starts sinking, he does not run. He does not look for a way out. He stands on that bridge, and he goes down with his ship. No speech, no drama, just silence and acceptance. That quiet dignity hit me harder than anything else in this film. Now, the film does not open in 1912. It opens in 1996. A salvage crew led by a man named Brock Lovett is searching the wreck of the Titanic deep in the North Atlantic Ocean. They are looking for a diamond called the Heart of the Ocean. They find a safe, crack it open, and instead of the diamond, they find a hand-drawn sketch of a young woman wearing only that necklace. That sketch is over 80 years old, but somehow the woman in it is still alive. Her name is Rose, 101 years old. She sees the footage on the news and contacts the crew. They bring her aboard, and she begins to tell her story. This is where we go back to April 10th, 1912. Southampton, England. The RMS Titanic is about to depart. We meet Rose, 17 years old, played by Kate Winslet, first-class passenger, engaged to a wealthy and controlling man named Cal Hockley, played by Billy Zane. From the outside, Rose has everything: money, status, a future. And she is completely suffocating inside all of it. Then there is Jack Dawson, played by Leonardo DiCaprio. Third class. No money at all. He won his ticket onto this ship in a poker game. The very last hand. Minutes before the ship left the dock. Watch Jack's first reaction when he sees the Titanic. Pure joy. No plan, no destination. Just a man who feels like the world is wide open. Now compare that to Rose, who has everything handed to her and feels absolutely nothing. That contrast right there is the entire heart of this film, and Cameron sets it up within the first 20 minutes. They meet because Rose is standing at the back railing of the ship at night, ready to jump. Jack talks her back. Calm, real, no performance. And that is exactly what gets to her, because every single person in her life performs. Cal performs. Her mother performs. Everyone around her is putting on a show. Jack just talks to her like a human being. They fall in love. And what Rose is really falling for is not just Jack. It is the freedom he represents. He takes her to a third-class party below deck where people actually laugh and dance without worrying about how they look. For Rose, that is something she has never had in her life. Cal figures out what is happening. And here is where he shows you exactly who he is. He takes the Heart of the Ocean diamond and plants it inside Jack's coat without Jack knowing, then has him arrested for theft. He does not just want to separate them. He wants to destroy Jack. That is not jealousy. That is control. Then we reach April 14th, 1912, 11:40 at night. The Titanic strikes an iceberg. And here is what I love about how the film handles this moment. Nobody panics right away. Passengers on deck are actually picking up chunks of ice and laughing about it. Because this ship was supposed to be unsinkable. People genuinely believe that. But below the waterline, the damage is already done. The ship's designer Thomas Andrews inspects the damage and tells Captain Smith the truth quietly. The ship will sink. They have around 2 hours. Now here is the detail that stays with you. The Titanic had lifeboats for only around 1,200 people. There were over 2,200 people on board. And this was not a mistake made in a panic. This decision was made before the ship ever left the dock. The lifeboats were considered an eyesore. They cluttered the view on deck. Let that sink in. As the ship goes down, the class divide becomes impossible to ignore. First-class passengers are directed calmly to the lifeboats. Third-class passengers are locked behind iron gates below deck while the water rises around them. Jack gets free and finds Rose. They fight their way through a flooding ship together. And Cal, even now, bribes his way onto a lifeboat. The ship breaks in half. The stern rises into the air. Hundreds of people are thrown into the water. The ocean that night was -2 degrees Celsius. You had maybe 15 to 30 minutes before the cold took you. Jack and Rose make it into the water. Rose gets onto a floating wooden panel. Jack stays in the water beside her. He keeps her calm. He keeps her talking. He does not make it. Rose survives. She is found by a returning rescue boat after blowing a whistle until someone hears her. Old Rose finishes her story on that research vessel. Brock Lovett has spent years chasing that diamond, and Rose quietly reveals she has had it the whole time. She walks to the back of the ship alone at night. She takes out the heart of the ocean, and she drops it into the ocean. Not for drama, not for closure. It just belongs there. Titanic is one of those films that earns everything it asks from you. The love story works because Cameron builds the two characters properly before he starts taking things away. The disaster works because it is grounded in real detail. And underneath all of it is a very clear message about class and who gets to survive and who does not. 1,517 people died on April 15, 1912. This film never lets you forget that those were real people. It is a great film. Simple as that. That is Picture Mavericks for today. If you enjoyed this, like the video and subscribe. Drop in the comments what film you want next. I will see you in the next one.